Hello there. Welcome, guys. Going to be hanging out here for a little bit. What is up? Thanks for coming in here. We got King Shadow, Sun Goku, Kristen, Mandy, what's up? Quentin, what's up? Kyle, what's up? Word. Fellow YouTube members, I like it. King Shadow, Word, AJ. Umbrella Corporation's here. James is here. Lauren is here. Thank you guys for coming in. Yeah, so we're just going to be shooting the shit, answering some questions for a little bit. We just finished Madhouse, and I figured I would do an RE4 little discussion live stream that a lot of people would like because it is Resident Evil 4 remake time. What's up, ACR, Connor, Darcy, Cave Dweller, Kyle? Thank you. Yeah, got the Golden Girls shirt on, but also yes. So Revenant, what's up? Any questions you have, super chats, stuff like that. Obviously, RE4 remake has gotten a lot of love and coverage from a bunch of sources and online web shows and stuff like that. So I did a breakdown on all the trailers and the screenshots, and I have a couple more videos that I'm going to be working on tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And of course, today I wanted to live stream in anticipation for the Village Gold Edition that is dropping on Friday. So I'm going to be waiting to cover that stuff. All right, so what do we got here? What's up, Jordan69? Matthew Webster's back here. Some says, do you think they're doing the remakes to reroute the canon, or will it be the same? I think it will be somewhat the same. I don't think they'll change it too much from what fans know. Maybe unless it gets to a point where they feel like they need to start changing everything. They've already changed some, so I know that they're not like afraid to change because they will. They'll do some stuff here and there, but I don't know. I think they hopefully will just make the necessary stuff for the changes and not so much like stuff the fans don't want. Have I tried Reverse? And what I have not tried it since the beta, but what did I think of it? A lot of people are actually liking it. I know the beta's out as we speak. I have not played it. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow. I'll probably install it later tonight, or maybe I'll stream it tomorrow. I don't know. I guess it depends. We'll just see how tomorrow is like. I can do a bunch of different things in terms of stuff I have to work on, but I know that Reverse is that beta is live, but then I'm also thinking, should I just wait until after I cover the main stuff of Gold Edition story-wise and then go on Reverse? I don't know. I'm still kind of like going back and forth, but I mean, I've heard it's okay. I just know that there's a lot of people that want more content on it, but I know that that's going to happen later anyway. But yeah, so there is a lot of more positive things that people have been saying about Reverse because obviously it's been a long time since we've seen it, played it, that kind of thing, and the improvements should have been noticed right away. And people are putting it over. Some people are putting it over in the chat. So Revenant says, I won't lie, Leon has a sweet looking jacket this time around. If only we could get Chris's bomber jacket from S.T.A.R.S office. Yeah, that'd be cool. The costumes they have are very interesting, right? And actually I was going to pull that up for you guys. And Mandy, I actually got a package from you, and I appreciate it. I haven't actually opened it yet because I was away, but I will also open it if you're still hanging out, Mandy. Thank you for sending that over. Let me see. Can I? Hold on. Just want to move this real quick. Really? I didn't search anything though. This is so weird. I'm just trying to get a. Hold on. Hold that thought. What if I put it in documents? Oh, it's already in there. Okay. All right, hold on. Let's see. I'm covered. No. No, I'm just kidding. Boom. Okay, so this is the Resident Evil Collector's Edition. Hopefully you guys were able to at least get this thing at GameStop. It did drop while we were live on the showcase stream. So this is the statue. I did get a Collector's Edition, and I may have gotten an extra one for a giveaway. Maybe. So it comes with a steelbook. It has the extra DLC stuff and everything like that. It has the costumes, the filter, the art book, the soundtrack swap, you know. But this... We also have the pre-order bonuses, so you get the attache case, gold and classic, and you got the charms, the green herb charms and the ammo charms. And the charms are essentially for like more herb drops or more ammo drops, little things that you can actually throw in the game there, which again is really cool. But this, though, a lot of people were talking about the costumes, and I wanted to talk about this because this is just funny. So if you actually look here at the Leon costumes, which I just think are interesting in this game, because the casual outfit, okay, you know, Leon kind of looks like a dad. The romantic one, he looks like, you know, something out of Castlevania, and then the hero one just looks like something out of like an anime or something. But the villain one is like full Dante Leon. But as you can see here, you actually get filters for each of the hero and the villain costumes, which is very interesting. And then you also get the Sentinel 9 for the deluxe weapon with the extended mag, and then you also get the Skull Shaker, which is like, you know, kind of like a version of the Terminator 2 shotgun that we were talking about. At least that's what it reminds me of. I know that there's going to be people that are going to be like, no, that was actually this model. And I'm like, okay, I don't know, but I'm just saying as a fan. The treasure map expansion. So that unlocks additional treasures that cannot be found with the other treasure maps. So more treasures, the accessories, the sporty sunglasses, and the original soundtrack swap, which is always great to see the soundtrack swap. They are a little goofy. You know, they are like fun in a certain way, but I know some people want the RPD outfit. Judging from Ashley's stuff, this looks like, you know, I see like the cowboy kind of boots hanging in there, so maybe that could be cowboy outfit or cowgirl outfit for her. Romantic, I don't know what the hell Ashley's going to be rocking. We don't know. But I just thought that was funny because some of you guys were like, "Oh, what are the costumes and stuff like that?" Yeah, the different group working on 3 Remake was, you know, that was a different group. This is the same team that did RE2. So story-wise, it was RE4 that things started to go downhill, so I was hoping for a fix. Well, it definitely, the writing started to kind of venture out and do different things, you know what I mean? And I think now they'll still keep similar events that are just going to be happening, but whether or not it's still more of an action game is to kind of be determined. They seem to be, you know, making it a lot more darker. The lighting is better, you know. There's a lot of stuff that they can do. Darcy says they need to remake the 3rd one again because they messed it all up. Yeah, I know, Darcy. A lot of people want the 3rd game again, but or a director's cut of it, but I didn't think it was that bad. But there wasn't perfect. I was playing the beta earlier today, and it told me it's already over. Well, there you go. It was probably just for a short amount of time. That's probably the case, Stevie Mac. Sweet Gav says RE4 looks absolutely amazing. Just finished RE3, and Jill felt very clunky. The knife was worthless. Maybe they pulled all the talent and focused on the 4, and that's why 3 was mediocre. I still liked it. No, I don't think that's why 3 was mediocre. It was actually made the same time as 2. But it was made from a different team than 2. So they were made at the same time, and they were capturing and recording voices at the same time as RE2. But that team, like I was kind of saying earlier, that team was very, they overlooked a lot of stuff. Mandy's still here. Thank you, Mandy, again for the package. And what's up, Ty? Masai, thank you. I did avenge the table today. I don't need it. Steelbooks are everything in a collector's edition. Can't wait to see the artwork design. Yeah, I'm happy that they started to do that again because, like RE2 and RE3, you had to get the Steelbook separately at Best Buy, and I always thought that was weird. So I'm happy to see that. Blake's here. He's hype, ready to go. We got 90 people in here, but only 41 likes. Let's get those likes up. Ask away. I know RE4 is the stuff you guys want to talk about and discuss, and that's cool. Anything, really, for RE and Survival Horror. We're going to be holding it down here. Mr. Pitcher says, Hant, do you think we might get something similar to Village where we'll fight Sadler in the Village rather than on the island? It could be. I think whatever they end up changing the finale to, or that last part of the game, will still be where we get Sadler. But where we will fight Sadler is a good question. I don't know if it will exactly be in the same spot, but we'll see. Lauren says the casual fit is giving Maverick vibes. Yeah, very, very different vibes of the costumes. Astro says goofy alternative costumes are one of my favorite RE extras. So glad they kept that up here. Hopefully that there's more to unlock in the game. We'll see, because that is with the collector's edition. So maybe in the game they'll do RPD. Maybe. The villain one does look like something out of Devil May Cry. Brandon Lewis doesn't like the costumes. He says, not gonna lie, they're trash. I will be playing RE4 when it comes out, probably on my own, probably doing a live stream. We'll just we'll play it by ear, but that's the plan as of now. They're not bringing back Ashley's original outfit. Well, the original outfit definitely is They stopped getting, I guess, very, exposing with their outfits. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But whether it's for that Messiah or not, I just think that kind of shit is just ridiculous. Like, they should just put whatever they want in there. Lauren says, "Oh, Hal is I wish we got a gangster costume." Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah, he throws up the hat, with the Chicago typewriter. That's really cool. I love the Mafia Leon. That was such a cool little costume for that time. Matthew Webster with the $2 super chat. Thank you, bro. This was hoping for the RE6 jacket. I know, right? What the hell? But they'll sell it on a website for like $1,000. So it's a pretty lit jacket. Liquor Sandwich was up. He says, hype. RE4, this is from Condor. RE4 Remake didn't start until 2018. RE2 started in 2015. And I'm sure about 3, I'd say 2016. Yeah. And we talked to, when we interviewed Nikki Tompkins, she said she started the voice acting in, I think it was like 2017 or something like that. So, yeah. They were already kind of well off making all that stuff. Come on, everyone, let's hit the like button. Hell yeah, Georgie. I agree. The merchant's voice needs changing. I don't think it sounds that bad. You knew they weren't going to get the, original voice actor back, because I'm pretty sure that's Leon who does the merchant voice. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. And they go with the actors that they go with. So we knew it was going to sound a little bit different, but I don't mind it too much. Steven? Liquor Sandwich says, pretty sure 2 and 3 remake were being developed simultaneously. Yes, they were. That's confirmed. Another 24-hour stream for 4. Yes, that's the plan. 24-hour stream. That's going to be happening for you guys. And I'll be doing a giveaway for a collector's edition as long as all the collector's editions come in and none of the orders get canceled. But again, I'll kind of talk about that as it gets closer. You know what I mean? But that's the plan. I like to do giveaways for you guys. I think the island may still be in the game, even though it is obviously isn't on the map because it could be further off the map. It could be. It could not be. We do see that the map is, pretty much the same. It's just kind of restructured a little bit. The lake is in the center of the map, so a lot of people are thinking that things will obviously just connect from the lake, or there could be another underground section. People are talking about the mines being expanded earlier. That could lead to something else. I don't think the abandoned factory is a replacement for the island, but who knows? You know what I mean? It could just be another area that they kind of end up renaming. That's something that we're familiar with. I don't know if it's a completely new area, but it could be. But again, let's see. Liquor sandwiches. I'm confident that the RPD and gangster costume will be unlockable. I think so. Maybe they'll be more in-game. Kind of like what we were saying, We almost got 100 people in here. Thanks for coming in, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button. This is great. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let's see. Some sweet shrimp says Dr. Salvador looks so much more intimidating in this, and I love it if the other sub bosses and main bosses get the same treatment. All is good in my eyes. Also, what returning weapon are you hyped for? Definitely the Red 9. Definitely the Punisher. The Bolt Thrower I'm kind of interested in. That looks like they might replace the Mine Thrower. So, am I able to pre-order the Collector's Edition in store? Well, you have to go to GameStop Street Reaper, because now I never usually go to GameStop to pre-order these things because they always have a low amount of pre-orders per store. But you'd have to check. I mean, at this point, unfortunately, it may just be sold out because it's been, almost 4 or 5 days since that announcement. So a lot of that stuff, they might do another run. I mean, RE4 has been, the RE7 ones did come back, RE8 ones did come back in for a little bit. And I know they sold just as fast. But you never know. RE4 is a huge game. They might produce more. You know what I mean? But just stay following Wario64 on Twitter, and there you go. Paul Mercier does The Merchant, and I'm really digging the new one. And everything, in my opinion, is very much more than what I wanted, especially the gameplay. That's cool to hear, Condor. And I agree. I think Dr. Salvador is also a lot more intimidating as well. I really hope they have the Bella sisters in there. Mike, what's up? Says, really hoping Lily as Ada sounds better when the full game is released. Hopefully the trailer sound bites were mostly pre-releases. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind her voice that much. I mean, I know it sounds a little bit different, and we only heard her say a few lines, so it's really hard to judge a performance. So people that I think are completely dismissing her, all I can say to that is let's just give her a chance, you know what I mean, and actually hear the game. It was the same thing with Jill. Like, we had to give her a chance, and, be that as it may, as far as, what you like and what you don't like over the different performances of our characters throughout the years. But the Merchant kind of sounds like the same voice actor as the Duke. I mean, it could be Sam Spade. That's a good question. Not sure. I know some of the voice actors are getting, not leaked out, but people are starting to find out who it is. But I guess we'll see when they officially talk about who's voicing who. Lawrence says, I think people should wait to judge the voice acting when the game is out. It's hard to judge only from 2 sentences. That's what I was just saying, Lauren. Exactly. Friendly person, that's what he says. He says, I am looking forward to the guns they add. Hope they have some cool rifles like the Chris's Dragoon from RE Village. Yeah, hopefully we'll see some more switches up to the arsenal, maybe, I'm happy that, we'll see some of the stuff like the Red 9 coming back. Yeah, people were saying the Abandoned Factory could be the boss fight for the Big Cheese. That was in that, barn type area before, but that could be, But Luke even said the Abandoned Factory is in the OG. It's after the Valley, but before the Big Cheese House. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So the abandoned factory is there. I just never I never named it or called it the abandoned factory. You know what I mean? Because I know there were some people that were commenting on my video like, oh. That's how they were commenting on the video. That's what they said. That's all they said, and then they just left. But no, they were like, oh, Anthony, you didn't know that that was called the abandoned factory? And, oh, you didn't know that this was... Listen, motherfucker, I played RE4 a million times over, okay? But I understand that the map is a little bit different. But it's pretty much the same. Like case in point, the abandoned factory was there. Did I call it the abandoned factory for fucking however long this game's been out? No. But if it's there, then that's cool. We should embrace the fact that there's, you know, the similar feel, and they're trying to expand on it, like I just said in the map breakdown, right? So I think one of the things, like the map itself, I think the abandoned factory and, you know, all that stuff, they're going to have different things that are happening in different sequences probably, but it does look like it is going to be following the original 4. Mike likes the design of Leon's starter gun, the Silver Ghost, out of the most of the handguns. It is a great starter handgun, for sure. Lauren K says, wonder if the RPL 412 is going to be in the game. That should be. The Parasite Killer, to see that come back, man, that would be awesome. Let's see. Umbrella says, RE Engine never fails to disappoint. It's just RE3 Remake left out a lot of the original game. The map alone was smaller, and it felt rushed in a way. Yeah, that's always been the main kind of argument since it came out, right? So I just think it's funny because it's like, dude, you know, because some people were trying to come at me at the map thing, just acting like I didn't know Resident Evil 4. And it's like, dude, I know Resident Evil 4, okay? But at the same time, like, if I didn't pick up on, you know, all the new names and how they're naming stuff the same and stuff like that, it's like, all right, like, this stuff is just kind of resurfacing. This game's been out for a while, as far as the original game, and there's a lot of lore and a lot of stuff that we may or may not see return. So to keep that stuff open, and obviously to keep that stuff, you know, just to stay positive with that stuff, but let's see here. Mike's pretty happy with the RE engine. He's going to be playing it on the PS4. Well, there you go. King Shadow's mega hyped. Brian says, can't wait for the next RE showcase in January or February. Yeah, that's probably when they'll do it. You know, I'm sure that's probably when they'll have the demo. Richard says, will we have a stalker enemy? Well, the Big Cheese, I think, will be a stalker. I think there's going to be a lot of, like, I know some people are kind of tired of the stalker enemies. I know Nuji mentioned that in his video too. And I can get it, how it can be a little bit like, okay, we get it, like, you know, another stalker enemy. And then especially this time, kind of adding that in when it wasn't really there in the original RE4. Again, it's doing something a little bit different, but I don't know if I would personally mind it. But at the same time, I get, like, whether or not I get how it can be repetitive, and I don't know what else they can really do except just have the Big Cheese kind of chase you and, you know, try to, what does he do, grab you and throw you down, you know, pretty much. I don't know what they can really do. He may be in the trench coat and hat a lot longer if he's more present. So Let's see. Damon Vector says the El Gigante looks like he ate a lot of ganados. Yeah, that's the one thing about his design is it actually looks more mutated and deformed, but looks a lot more menacing in my opinion. But again, not too far from the original design. Ty says the thing with new Ada is that it's a different voice who doesn't sound better, in Ty's opinion, than RE2 Ada. Yeah, but again, it's just a few lines, so I do agree, you know. Love when you do these hangouts, makes the last couple hours of my shift go by fast. Hell yeah, Evan, you got it. Yeah, these hangouts are always going to be a thing every week on the channel, whether there's RE news or not, just because I like the one-on-one chat interaction with you guys. I obviously like to read the chat when I'm playing a game as well, but sometimes it's hard to get the things right away, so I try to kind of space it out when I play games live. But when I do these hangouts, yes, it's more just kind of like a live kind of interaction stuff. Let's see here. George says, curious how Leon might look or change throughout the game since he's infected for like 98% of the game. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to kind of change, like, because we already see how it's affecting Ashley in the trailer, right? We already saw that she's aiming the gun, what we're assuming is Leon. And how will that affect him if Leon doesn't suppress it with the pills that Luis gives him, you know? So that would be very interesting if they end up doing something like that. Georgie says, I can't get over how funny Salazar looks. Somehow I knew they were going to make him look like my wife's grandma. Oh my God, Georgie. Holy shit. But I'm for it. I don't know. There's something even more creepier about it. Like the cracks in his skin and just the way his hair sits and everything. I don't know. Like I know he does look like an old lady. Kind of like Chris Jericho now. But I think he does have, you know, some kind of, form that we'll see. I'm sure that will be different than his final form. I just have a feeling. Sam Spade says, do you think they will take away checkpoints in hardcore mode for like RE4 like they did with RE2? I hope they bring ink ribbons to RE4, make the game more challenging and more survival horror. That's a good point, Sam Spade, because ink ribbons weren't in the original RE4 and you were able to get checkpoints and just freely save. So I'm sure there will be checkpoints just like on the earlier or easier modes in the other Resident Evils, but you'll also have that hardcore mode, which will bring that save element. I'm sure they're going to do that. That would be really cool to see. That's a good point, though. Like, they weren't there, so to see them do that, Sam Spade, I would say that would be cool for that challenge, and I'm down for that. Some Sweet Trim says, some people are already putting RE in the bin just because of the parry. Well, I don't mind the parry, though. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think with RE3, that was your stepping stone for adding a defense button, right, of some sort, or something against where you can dip or do the perfect dodge. And this is just kind of like a gradual step and graduation from that. You know what I mean? Like, it's already like, okay, this worked. Let's push this forward because of how the enemies are reacting to Leon and RE4. It's at a lot more of a rapid pace, obviously, because of the enemies and the Ganados and what you're up against is a different threat. So them changing and adding the parry and dodge and all that stuff with this game, I wouldn't put the game down just for that. And I don't think it's going to... It's one thing if we played the demo and we're like, guys, it feels clunky. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to work. It's hard to stay, you know, with a proper combo and stuff like that. Like, until we see that, then I would worry, but I wouldn't dismiss it just because of that. Interesting parry, says King Shadow. What's up, man? Messiah says, I'm counting on the rocket launcher to be able to one-shot Gigante. Or Gigante. I know I'm not saying none of these names right, but I'm trying my best here. Well, here's the thing. The rocket launcher may not be able to be purchased from the merchant. Like, that's my theory, right? Like, I think there might be some kind of not a stop to it, but maybe like it won't be as easy to just buy something that can one-shot kill him. We might have to just fight him straight up. But we'll see. Let's see. Mike says, unpopular RE4 opinion. As cool as the Chicago typewriter is in the Mafia outfit, it makes the gameplay boring and takes out the stakes. So you'd rather have like a Tommy gun that maybe isn't one-hit kill, maybe just uses machine gun ammo or something like that. I mean, definitely by the time you got the Chicago Typewriter, it was just like bop 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 done, bop 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 done. So yeah, it definitely is. It definitely got a lot easier, you know. But that was your reward for, you know, beating the game. But again, I guess same can be said about the infinite rocket launcher. I mean, once you have a rocket launcher, it's going to be one-hit kill no matter what. So the same can be said for the rocket launcher as well. But if you want more of a challenge, I'm sure you can always turn on infinite ammo mode and complete challenges, because I'm sure the challenge list will be back again, you know, where it has all the check boxes and everything like that. I think the dog might be in the remake, Damon. I think it will. I think that might just be a little fake out with the dead dog. Yeah, I really hate RE4. It feels like an unbalanced piece of shit to me. That's what Liquor Sandwich says. Yeah, man, that's crazy. So you were the first negative comment that I got in the chat today about Reverse. So I'm curious to see if anyone else played it in the chat. I would love to hear your opinion. That sucks, Liquor, that it wasn't as promising for you, but we'll see, or I'll see how it is when I play it. Yeah, I mean, Brian, you're always going to have that argument. People saying originals are better. They're always there on the shelf. So if you want to play them, go play the originals. No one's forcing anyone out there to buy these remakes. Azura Eyes, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We got almost 120 people in here and only 77 likes. Let's get the likes up, guys. Thank you guys for coming in here. I still have a feeling that we're in for a treat next year with this, says Azura Eyes with the super chat. It seems that they're listening to the backlash on RE3. Well, that's what I was saying. I think, like, they know to not really change it too much, but they're going to really kind of reel in what made RE4 great and also kind of improve on that. And that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? I'm really happy to see them have that kind of confidence, because they know that at this point, the RE engine, it's at its peak. You know, they could do so much with it. They are working within the realms of, you know, something that can really take that old engine and clearly make it, you know, significantly better. And adding the stealth elements, adding those horror elements, I think that's something that is going to be a real treat for people that might have gotten a little snubbed on RE3 personally. So as long as this kind of, obviously it won't change the fact that RE3 Remake doesn't satisfy everyone. Again, I still like the game and I still appreciate it, you know what I mean? But I recognize what was cut. My favorite part was cut out. My favorite nemesis was cut out. So I get why people definitely hold that close to the chest. And it creates a worry. But I don't think we have to worry about that here. Just looking at the map. Now, the island is the real thing that's in question. Street Reaper says, I can't wait to see the regenerators. In the castle segment, I haven't been so hype about a game before. Yeah, so you can't wait for the regenerators and the castle section. Yeah, I can't wait for the castle. That's one of my favorite things I'm looking forward to. And the regenerators. Do you think they'll do a prequel with Ashley being kidnapped, like a DLC? Nah, Steven Taylor, I think, if anything, we might see that in the beginning. We might see that in the beginning of the game. I feel like the random items and random enemies in the future will make the replayability fun, and everyone will have a unique experience, plus have workbenches for custom weapons. Yeah, they could have that sense of RNG in this thing this time, you know? And really making it kind of like a surprise every time, you know? That does up the horror. In the trailer, Ashley is seen alone sometimes, so maybe Mendez is a pursuer towards Ashley and not Leon? That's a good question. You know, we know Krauser played a part in the kidnapping before, so I wonder if we'll see something like that. I don't know if we'll see that right from the beginning. They might keep it more of a hidden thing until later. You know what I mean? I do know that Krauser is confirmed to be in the game, considering what we've heard about the people that play tested it. So that I do know. Ganados look terrifying, so I can't even imagine how creepy the regenerators will be. Yeah, Matt Stewart. The regenerators will probably look just as creepy as ever, or sound creepy as ever. I'm looking forward to that. Messiah says, I'm honestly hoping for a Stalker enemy in RE4 Remake because Nemesis disappointed me in RE3 Remake. Well, that's an interesting take on that for sure. Yeah, I feel like some people can come from that side of it too. King Shadow says, I hope the game doesn't make the same mistakes like an RE4 remake. Yeah, I think that's what most people are hoping to not see. Arkley's Resident, what's up? He says, I could see one of the Vertigos being a stalker enemy in the castle. That's a good point, right? We do know that they're in there from the screenshot right aside Salazar. So seeing that in the castle would be interesting. I think maybe having a stalker enemy in the village and the castle would be a little too much. I think that's when it would become a little like, okay, they didn't have to add that. Maybe just like 2 boss fights additionally in the well, on top of the Vertigo fight. But I don't know. You know, maybe my opinion will change, but we'll see. Evan says, but do you think that the guy on fire who pops out of the freezer is going to be cut? How about the spazzing garbage bag in the dumpster? Yeah, the flesh bag. Yeah, I wonder if that stuff will be in there. The flaming ganado in the furnace was very terrifying for sure. Obviously, you know when it's coming up in the next playthrough after you play through it once. But if they did something like that again, that'd be cool. Same thing with the flesh bag. Stevie Max says, I'll gladly pay extra if they remove Ashley screaming, help me, Leon, over and over again on the island part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that will be cut. I'm sure she'll still have a scream like that, but who knows? We'll see which one is more annoying. Granny Salazar, says King Shadow. Do you think the Plaga suppression pills could make its work into the gameplay or work its way into the gameplay mechanics? That's a good point. Like, will those pills be part of like your maybe you'll have an infection meter or something, you know what I mean, outbreak style? I don't know. That's actually a really good question. That's why I like doing these hangouts, because you guys bring up some really cool stuff live. Yeah, because it's like, we see Ashley clearly getting overrun by the parasite in the trailer. So will Leon and Ashley both have to take this thing to kind of suppress it? We know that it obviously spreads rapidly, so we'll see. But yeah, and like Stevie Max says, like the outbreak infection meter, that's a good point. Civil Undead says, makes sense for Leon to be able to parry. He's DSO, and in the remake, he is doing a better job at showing how much he's improved since RE2. Well, yeah. So he is clearly a lot more skillful, and that also kind of plays into, why he looks bigger and why he's more experienced. Like, I think that just plays into that. Roy DJ says, I think adding parry is a good idea because, come on, Leon is an agent and it makes sense for him. Just like I said, it makes sense. Everything's talking about an Ashley opening, but a Leon and Krauser opening would be better into the history and having it fleshed out. Well, that's the one thing. So the people that played this game, IGN, GameSpot, the big guys, they said that in the intro that they see a shot of someone with blonde hair and a beret that was training Leon. And they didn't say anything about it being Krauser, but it clearly looked like Krauser. So Krauser's pretty much confirmed in this game, not, officially on the presses or anything, but just from what people have been, well, technically from press people that have played it, right? But apparently that makes an appearance in the intro. And Leon S. Kennedy actually says that he was forced into working for the government after the events of Raccoon City. So it looks like they do kind of fill in a little bit more than just having text on the screen, showing a few screenshots and it being done, which is good. That's kind of what we want. We want it expanded, but he still says 6 years have passed, So that being in there is great, but hopefully, yes, we do see something that goes into the training, which I'm sure that, Krauser probably taught him that parry, I'm sure, which means that the Krauser fight would not be a cutscene with QuickTime events, but so in-person parrying and trying to dodge. Kyle says, I have a feeling that Salazar's hair is a wig, and underneath it's his plaga coming out of his head that will reveal his transformation. That's a interesting way to look at it. I'm sure his transformation will be definitely different, and I can't wait to see it, Kyle. I'm looking forward to that in the castle. Abigail says, the remake appears to have a nice balance of horror and action compared to the original. I mean, I would agree. I mean, there's no doubt that the action will be upped just like how it was in Village mixed with the horror. You're not going to get no action in at all, you know, because the action is also what brought a lot of people into the series with RE4 being their first game. But, you know, putting in that horror, cranking that horror level up is also just a great way to, you know, make the hardcore fans also happy and, yeah, just make it work. And Chris Kennedy, what's up, fellow YouTube member in the house? Remake Ramon Salazar doesn't wear a hat. No, he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't have a hat this time, so we'll see. Will he have the hat at some point? I don't know. Alyssa Boyd, what's up? Chris Kennedy just pre-ordered the collector's edition for PS5. You just pre-ordered it? Are they up right now, Chris Kennedy? Let people know in the chat. But yeah, I know it was sold out from last week, so I'm not sure, but he's hyped. Salazar looks like an evil Bilbo Baggins from Lord of the Rings. That's a good one. Chief Mendez stole Mr. X's hat. I know, right? It's a fashion contest now. A lot of people, Damon, are talking about the Evil Within, Last of Us vibes, about the crouching and the stealth kills. I know that's the first thing people go to, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure that, I mean, they did do it. They did do stealth pretty well in those games, so I'm sure they, you know, had to kind of look at how they can make it work in the RE engine. Sora, what's up? Says, so far from what I've been seeing in the trailers, if they're keeping stuff from the original and not cutting back on it, hopefully I'm right and about that, because we don't need another RE3. Well, that's what we were saying in the chat. A lot of people are scared because of that, but we'll see. The 15.5-hour gameplay time was what solidified it for me. RE3 Remake was 3 fucking hours. Well, all of them, to be fair, and I understand RE3 Remake is shorter, but RE2 Remake is also short. You can beat that in a pretty short time once you know what to do. First time of RE3, it's not going to take you 3 hours, and no RE game. But when you play it a second or a third time, you get it down to a science. Off topic, with Tobin Bell is coming back for the Saul. Yeah, Tyler, we kind of saw that coming. We knew Saul wasn't done. Arkley says, I played Reverse. While it's not great, it's not amazing. As someone who loves shooter games like Halo, COD, etc., it's a lot of fun playing as our heroes and monsters in a PvP FFA game. 7 out of 10 in my opinion. Well, there you go, Arkley. So we got some early reviews of that coming out. Krauser did not get cut out. Krauser apparently will show up in the game. We just don't know when. He apparently appears in the intro training Leon. That's what all the press people are saying. So we will see what goes on. We need Luis DLC, says Connor. Maybe. Georgia says, come on, boys and girls. If you want RE4 to be the best RE game ever, hit that like button. Yes, and if you want the content to keep coming, hit that like button as well. Appreciate that. Dick's out for RE4. Hell yeah. Dick's in the air. It's time. Let's see. Well, no one really said that the only people that said Krauser was cut from the games are the people that just make ridiculous, you know, clickbait and have no substance whatsoever, and they're just kind of following the leaks. That's why I wasn't following the leaks on the channel this whole time, because a lot of it would just be contradicting, and I wanted to cover the stuff as legitimate as possible. So that's who said that, Sputnik. But Overlord says the main dev team, so it is the main dev team, Overlord. Yes, exactly. So Sweet Trim says, do hope that they don't treat the regenerators like the Drain Demos in RE3. I don't think so. I think they're so iconic that they know they have to have them a lot more. And between the regenerators and the Iron Maidens making an appearance. I agree, Umbrella Core. I think Hunnigan does look Fantastics 4. No, I think she looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see how they handle the radio calls with them, because we know they're not going to do the Metal Gear Solid thing. So, let's see. Apparently the head will be hanging. Bryant. Yeah, who leaked that, Bryant? Evan says, it's the way that Capcom was on track to making one of the greatest video games ever twice, and we're here to witness both of them. Also, release week is going to be crazy because it's the same as Scream 6. Oh shit, it is. Yeah, that is the same week. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Don't know how good Scream 6 will be, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I will be definitely all in on RE4 that week. I don't know if I'll be catching Scream 6 on opening weekend, that's for sure. Lauren says Krauser would have to be in the game because who else would kidnap Ashley? That's what I'm saying. Unless they change that main part of the story, Lauren, I think it's safe to say you'll be in there. Pop says with all the Vertigo use, their spears or won't have it at all. I think Vertigo will be very similar to what we've seen, probably a little bit more intimidating. Matthew Webster says, I love Sadler's staff is more important this time. Maybe it's what Ada and Krauser are after as their sample. Yeah, it's interesting because we have a different character next to Sadler holding a staff, which is new. So I'm curious to see who that is, what that is. Why is someone else holding the staff for him? It brings up a lot of questions. Adam Norton says, I think RE4 Remake, or I like RE4 Remake. I don't think it's a bad remake. Neither do I, Adam Norton. It's funny because back when that game came out, me and John covered RE4 Remake, and then we liked it. And everyone that wasn't a fan of our channel, that didn't like what we had to say about it, not you guys, not the supporters, and not people that are here now, but other people, said that we were playing Capcom's favor. We were just, playing this, playing that. And this is, of course, even before I was a Capcom creator. And that's regardless, because I can still express my opinions being a Capcom creator, right? We were accused of doing this, doing that, when we were trying to give an honest review and give honest coverage, which we did during that whole cycle, and I'm happy and I'm proud of that. But then when Village came out, and we had, not so positive things to say about Village, we were, shitting on it, being unfair. So you're never going to satisfy everybody. There's always going to be people that are going to shit on you for, like, what you say in videos and what you say, what you're just trying to stick up for what you feel and how you feel about it. But it's like, you're never going to make everyone happy. So it's like, it's either if we don't like it, we're doing this. If we like it, we're doing that. It's like, you're never going to win. So yeah, we've been getting crap since RE4 Remake, big time. And now I got to deal with it with going forward with this stuff. So it's always been like that since I started the channel 12 years ago. You know what I mean? Mine Thrower, I don't think so. They have the Bolt Thrower now. So they might change that, King Shadow. We'll see. Alabaster says it's very Dead Rising 2. I'm okay without the Stalker enemy, says Matt Stewart. They've been fun, but give them a break. That's what Nuji was saying, and I don't completely disagree with him, to be honest. Salazar looking creepy. I think they did a good job. I agree, Dante. Abigail says if it said that the knife Leon was used is the one Marvin gave him in RE2. Yes, the knife that he is using, according to the playtest, is the Raccoon City knife, is his Raccoon City knife. So they are going with that this time. Sputnik says Reefer sucks, so he doesn't like it. Evan says, oh my god, if we got a wig reveal with the transformation, I would be gagged. Lauren says Salazar is most disgusting transformation in the original game for me. I shudder to think how disgusting it will look now in the remake. Yeah, I wonder if they'll still make him kind of be latched to the wall. Just be this big room with just him. Luke says, I've seen some people say that Salvador's eyes look like the Plaga eyes and that he is partially mutated Plaga under the sack. Yeah, I remember people were saying that, Luke. So maybe he wears the sack to protect the sun from the sunlight. That's a good theory. Yeah, his eyes definitely look bulging for sure, and that it is very much a different design, very intimidating. I think the redesign of Salvador is great, says Axel. He loves the eyes bugging out. Salazar looks like Cap'n Crunch, says Chris Kennedy. Alyssa's hyped for RE4 Remake. She can't wait. Corey says, hey, buddy, I'm a fan of your channel. Love your content. I wanted to know, what do you think of that mysterious character that Sadler is in the trailer? Is it a guard or something? It's very, very guard-like, very... is it another boss that we can verse, right? Is it something new? It kind of looks like they have like this cloth over their body and very kind of looks very like unsettling. Can't really make out what it is. So I'm curious if that's something where like, why is this person carrying his staff instead of just him walking with the staff like he did normally? And we see also his hand go up in the trailer, so you can tell that's kind of when he's trying to control Leon, with the parasite, very much like in the original. Mendez looks like the Undertaker. Yeah, he definitely does. Older version of the Undertaker. They came forward and said the game is very similar in length to the original. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that like a lot of that stuff's coming out now where they're saying it's going to be a lot longer. I had to get my collector's edition on GameStop. Got 3 days ago. Yeah, a lot of people had to snag it last week. That was the time to do it. King wants the hand cannon and Chicago typewriter in the remake. I think it'll be there, man. I think those unlockables will be there. Big Cheese looks like Bin Laden and the Undertaker. Well, there you go. Sybil says they couldn't cut Krauser. He's important to the story, so why are people worried about that? I think a lot of people just thought they weren't going to do a good job with him, where I always thought that this is a chance to, redo it and do a good job, and really have a good, positive feeling going into this, that they're not going to, make it worse or make it less developed, just develop it more. John was very excited. Alosonic, Alasik, I think I said that right. Yeah, he's very excited for RE4. Stevie Mac also says trying to be the Undertaker. Yep. More Undertaker stuff. The Merchant is in the remake, Shy Boy. He's in the screenshots. I know he's in there. The leaks were giving me whiplash, so much contradictory. That's why, I literally refuse, Lauren, to report on that bullshit. Could I grow to 30K subs faster? Could I grow to 50K subs faster if I acted like that? Yeah. But there's some people that are just, all their channels just riddled with, shitty fake thumbnails and crappy few-minute videos of just talking about leaks with no concrete evidence, and there's no actual quality to the channels, you know what I mean? Just leak and clickbait channels. It's a shame. And this isn't just for Resident Evil. This is all games, all channels, all the time, So it's a really shitty influx of that, Lauren. And when it comes to Resident Evil, those channels exist as well, and I hate feeding into that. We always like to report stuff on here in the past that was at least solid. We might not have been right about everything all the time, but the Great White says the game looks good. I'm glad they didn't cut anything so far. Yes, we shall see. Apparently not. Chris Kennedy has the same idea. Yeah, exactly, Stevie Mac. You're not the only one. What are your thoughts on the Generator Iron Maiden being the stalker enemy? Well, Victor, that could be something at the last part of the game where they can be more stalker-ish. But I think if they're going to do it, they're probably going to do it with the Big Cheese or maybe Vertigo in the castle or something else, because the Regenerators are kind of forced to fight. But if they make the Regenerators more impossible to kill, then yeah, they could make them a stalker enemy. I don't know. I'm not feeling the pre-order items, says Cashbox, or the costumes. Hope we get the RPD and gangster outfit. That's what we were saying earlier. Hopefully it's in the game. Doug says cut content isn't a problem. Cutting content without replacing it with good content is a problem. That's true, Doug Taylor. That's a good point. Kyle says, what do you think about the infection possibly causing hallucinations and maybe a section inspired by the Hookman from 3.5? Maybe that's why Ashley's pointing her gun at someone. She is seeing things. Maybe. That's a good point. Maybe it does mess with them in the head more. That is something they could do. That's a good point. You heard from Beggy Beg that the woman in the first seconds of the story trailer is not Ashley, but someone else. Do you believe that? Possibly. Shout out to Beggy Beg Beg. She's a great person, great content creator, supports this channel on the regular. Shout out to Beggy. Also does stuff at Residence of Evil. Shout out to Residence of Evil. Shout out to, Resident Evil Challenger. Shout out to Hey Diva. Shout out to everyone that's going to be busy making these, videos and content, making all these theories and just having a good time with it. I appreciate that. And now, but Beggy saying that, though, is she's not the only one. I think a lot of people were suspecting that it could be someone different. It looked like Ashley to me, but I'm not sure, because that could be where she gets infected, because it could be someone different. Someone was saying if it was Ashley's friend, and I'm thinking, why would they take a friend of Ashley all the way there to do, this ritual when they really are after the president's daughter here? But it could still be someone else, and we're just seeing that cutscene. The new character that holds Sadler's staff might be the replacement boss for it, a.k.a. U3. Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. I feel like it just might be something new in addition to what we're going to get. Roy DJ doesn't like the look of Luis because of the facial hair. I'm just so used to seeing him having a clean shave, but it looks like Oh my god. Um, well, I mean, I disagree. I think Luis looks great. I actually think he looks exactly how I would expect him to look in the RE engine, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, a new crouch mechanic brings a new stealth approach. Yeah, it says on the GameStop description that stealth kills are going to be in there, and from the play testers, it is confirmed that stealth jokes are in there. So he already put Ari vacation in Georgia. He's ready. Hell yeah, man. The hype's real. Umbrella says Salvador looks like taunting, in my opinion. He looks more scary in the remake than in the original. Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think he definitely looks a lot more terrifying. And the fact that you could parry against him also gives it a different dynamic to the fight instead of just kind of being screwed. And I know some people were saying that they prefer to not parry because it's more scary. That rhymed, but yes, so I don't know. Imagine the twist. Carlos appears as a boss and he's going crazy from Jill's constant rejection. Yeah, that could be in the DLC, Revenant. Victor says, do you think the Garradors will make a return? I think so. I think they'll make a return in the castle. They'll probably just keep them under wraps, you know. Can't wait to play RE4 like 60 more times, and then 60 more times when the remake comes out. It's his favorite of all time, says Overlord. Yeah, man, a lot of people are getting excited. Play through it. Can says, what's Ada's last voice act? Was Ada's last voice actor Asian? Maybe they replaced her. I don't know. You know, people were saying she sounds different, so you know that makes sense if they replaced it. I don't know the ethnicity though. Let's see, 150 days, 7 hours, and 10 minutes to RE4. Brian's got it down pat. Let's see. Hasbullah. I don't know what that is. Superman 64 showcase tomorrow at 4 p.m. Oh, it's a Mugen. Mugen's making an appearance. Guys, look at this. Look at them monsters. Look at them Mugen. This is Mugen. He's a little baby. You gotta go upstairs, Moose. I know. All right. Sorry about that. Had to get Mugen out. Andrew says Superman 64 showcase tomorrow at 4. Victor says, do you think that they're going to bring RE 3.5 enemies in here that got cut? It's possible. I mean, his jacket looks very much like 3.5. I love the way he holds the flashlight and the shotgun. Very cool. I don't know. Some people were saying he could hallucinate stuff. See the Hook Man? The Hook Man could be actually real this time. Who knows? Story-wise, what is the number one thing you will absolutely hate if Capcom does it? I would say, to be honest, Liquor Sandwich, to be honest with you, I would be really upset if they do the downfall of Umbrella dirty still and just kind of don't really go into it more. That would kind of suck. I want Operation Javier as a DLC or extra mode for RE4 says Overlord. Maybe, but they could also show some stuff in the cutscene, you know? If they cut Krauser, they would retcon Operation Javier. Yeah, but it doesn't look like they are, guys. It looks like he's in the game. Playtesters saw him in the beginning. I will be doing a 24-hour stream, Shadow Justin of RE4. Those channels are less... Oh, well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Dave saying that the leaker channels are less authentic. And yeah, the leaker stuff, like I said, those leakers or the false clickbaiters, those channels are not genuine. Those channels, like I said, they exist for every game. They exist for every franchise. But yeah, those are the least genuine ones. What's up, Dave? Fellow YouTube member, also best friend in real life. Thanks for being here, man. And always appreciate your honesty. Keep fighting the good fight, and thank you, Kyle. I try, man. You should be seeing some of the comments I'm getting on my videos. You should be, because I think the screenshot breakdown is blowing up. It's almost got like 25,000 views right now or something like that in a couple days, and you should just see some of the ridiculous comments that I've had to remove, and some of the toxicity, people trying to fight, that kind of thing. I always try to, stay clear of, but yeah. Most of it's positive. That's the good thing. But yeah, it's like whenever you got shit blowing up on your channel, you got to deal with that stuff. Appreciate that, Bryant. I'm trying my best to read all the chats here. Let's see. Matthew Webster says, one thing from the gameplay trailer was no item drops from the enemies. Will be interesting how that affects the elements of RE4. I thought I did see item drops or item pickups, or was that not there at all? Maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but and you run a very respectable channel that I will always be subscribed to for as long as you report on RE. Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Those are some very kind words. And thank you. Yes, of course, I will always be covering RE, and, I will always report on it. I will always do the new stuff. And, of course, going forward, I'm also going to be covering the Callisto Protocol. And we'll be covering Dead Space Remake when it comes out. Other survival horror stuff I will also be covering, like I always have done on the channel. But now I will be covering just more. So, thank you so much for that. And I'll continue to do that. Just that. Think they'll bring back the Gatling gun guy. AK, I don't know. I just don't know if they should, because that really kind of leans into some of the stuff I didn't like about the island, personally. RE4 Remake is exactly 5 months away, says Chris Kennedy. You're right. I was going to say, Luke, I saw the item stuff drop, so okay, so I'm not wrong about that. It all looked great visually so far, says Dave. Hell yeah. I hope Remake Luis will be a badass like he was in the original. I think so.
Most of these medicines are from Umbrella.
Oh, shit. We got a 1999 super chat from Shadow Man. Says, on my way home from work, can't gift members on the mobile, so I wanted to support you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shadow Man. I really appreciate that. You've always been supporting. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Had to do a cat. Open the door for a cat. But yeah, thank you so much for all the support, man. And, you've been supporting the channel for so long, and I really appreciate that. I always recognize that. And, yeah, man, it's cool that we can stay excited together. I really, really appreciate you guys sharing the good vibes here with me today. And RE9, Nikolai's Revenge, says Shyboy. Let's get the likes up, says Kenny Smith. Yeah, I mean, our actual likes right now are actually even. 127 people in here with 127 likes. But if you haven't hit the like button yet, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Comment, ask a question, super chat, whatever you want to do. We're just hanging out. I'm going to be hanging out for until 9 o'clock. So I've got about another hour here with you guys. So I like these little cozy discussions. A lot of you guys like them as well. Let's see here. Lauren says, Luis looks great. His looks fit his charming personality. I don't think he is ugly like some people are saying. He just isn't a pretty boy like Leon. Yeah, I mean, I think it, again, I kind of just expected him. Yeah, okay, he's not clean shaven, but like, I don't know. I love the fact that he still has the red 9. He was sitting in the chair smoking a ciggy. Like, he still seems to have like that kind of, not sketchy, but like, Leon doesn't really know what to make of him, as you can see in the trailer, where he's like being like, what do you know? And because obviously he knows a lot more information than Leon, that's for sure. Chris Kennedy wants RE9 to be third person. That could very much happen, or be the option between first and third. What's up, Veronica Wesker? Welcome back. King Shadow says, pretty kitty. I think Leon gets jealous of how jacked Chris was in RE5. Yeah, and I think he saw that, and he saw the boulder punch, and he was like, you know what? I got to up my meal prepping. I got to up my protein powder. I got to, get my reps up at the gym. He was like, you know what? Even if I can go heavier, like I'll do less reps, like whatever I got to do to make it to where I'm almost as jacked as Chris Redfield on RE5. He's not quite there, but he's definitely a lot more jacked in this game. RE4 will have a first-person mode with VR, which they've yet to show yet. So it will be first-person, but specifically for VR. And that's for Banana Planet asking that. Invisible Loop missed out in the RE4 Collector's Edition. Well, keep your fingers crossed, man. Hopefully they'll have some more. I know they did that for Village, where they released a little bit more after they sold out. And RE4 is a bigger game, too, so we'll see. King Shadow says, isn't there going to be a BOW named like Jester in RE4 Remake? I don't know. I don't know if they will keep all of it or change some of the names, or Umbrella Corporation is ready to shoot some medallions. I like it. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat from Quentin Bauer, the man. Thank you, brother. Says the showcase was hype. Love the new look of Dr. Salvador and the environment destruction. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat, brother. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I think the environment destruction is really cool. And apparently, and I said this in the video, some people didn't know if I was telling the truth or not, but from the people that played the playtest, like I said, the GameSpots, the IGNs, the people that got their hands on that 20-minute demo, says that if you actually go up in the bell tower in the beginning of the game when you're fighting the chainsaw Dr. Salvador, if you go up in the bell tower, normally you're safe. They'll throw Molotovs up there, but it's a place you can get away. Apparently, if you go in there now, going to your point, Quentin, about environmental destruction, the whole bell tower falls and collapses, and it puts you back in the fight. So certain areas that are the same and certain places on the map that are the same may not be exactly how we remember it, because they might switch it up on you. They might make it like a fake out, like, oh, you remember this? Well, it's not necessarily safe now, is it? And then, boom, it just switches some stuff. So, yes, seeing that environmental stuff happen is really cool, and we didn't really see any of that showcase, but, again, these are things that people are saying after they've played the game, so I'd imagine they're telling the truth on that stuff. Will I ever cover the new Parasite Eve game? Potentially. Maybe if I ever get around to playing the old ones entirely on the channel. The new Silent Hill trailers looked very interesting. The Silent Hill 2 remake looked really good. I definitely am excited for that, Joshua, and I will be covering that. Village had dropped items. I'm sure RE4 has them. Yeah, I'm definitely sure they have them. They definitely have dropped items like we saw in the trailer. I was going to say, I remember seeing dropped items, so I knew I wasn't wrong there. Georgie says, I just hope that they add more story to the chopper guy. Mike, I really wish that guy would change the fact that they just killed him off and implement him at the end of the game. Yeah, I mean, Mike was definitely always kind of a random part of the game because he was just some dude that I guess he just knew Leon, like comrades, right? But yeah, I don't know if they'll have a Mike section, because that is a part where it's very actiony. There's, he's shooting down, you're getting shot up by the Gatling gun guys, there's bows flying, there's a bunch of stuff happening, so I'm not sure. Let me see here. Thank you for the subscription there. Is it me, or does the OG RE4 have a sort of House of the Dead aesthetic? House of the Dead? I never got House of the Dead vibes. I do like House of the Dead, but I never personally got House of the Dead vibes. But, I do appreciate House of the Dead for the arcadey action that it is, horror action, shoot 'em up. Yeah, they could always change that, Doug. We'll see how it looks with the final product, you know what I mean? As far as the Ada and Leon interaction. I don't know. Victor asked if will he have a similar fate, Luis. He could. Maybe they could make it at a different part to kind of throw us off, make him last longer in the game. I'm not sure. Let's see, Jura says, my one wish is that Leon would be as cheesy as the OG RE4, but a little toned down and serious, he says. Well, considering he was like shooting the flame on the cow, and he was just like, I'll, I'm sure they'll bill me for that later, or you know what I mean? Like he's already kind of cracking some stuff, and so apparently he still has those little quips that he's throwing around. So that still is happening as well. So I'm sure they're going to keep some of the cheese there a little bit. Cyborg saying reports of the gameplay length being similar might mean more content to other parts. Yeah, I think we're going to get that, Cyborg. Thank you again, Quentin, for the super chat. Hey, and I'm just playing RE7. There you go. I beat it earlier, so finally beat it on Madhouse. Yeah, I don't think they have the color lights anymore, Matthew. They changed it a little bit. King Shadow says, badass Luis. That would be cute if they threw in a fixed camera angle throwback session where actually having to guide Leon out of an area using the CCTV and a radio or something. That would be interesting, right? If they did something like that where it was like Lost in Nightmares, where it was like a little Easter egg. Philly Cheese says, I've never been more hyped for a remake than RE4. Hell yeah, man. Time to get excited. $5 super chat from Matthew Webster says, Mike, which should definitely be back. Just look at Chris's moment in RE8. He had a laser for his guys to bomb things. No, that's true. But RE Village kind of knew it was going to be action horror from the start. So, ready, start. Thank you so much for that. Oh, yeah, Dave, we go so hard on the arcade machines on House of the Dead. Anytime there's a House of the Dead machine, if we have time, that thing's getting beaten for sure. But yeah, man, I think they could, like you said, they could have him in there. I'm sure there's going to be that action layer. I don't think they're going to be like so far away from that at the end of the day. But I think they'll have some kind of like, section maybe that isn't the same as the island where he can work himself in. We'll see. Leon climbs the bell tower for shotgun ammo just to have it collapse on him. I know, right? What the hell? It definitely will add more replayability, Quentin. You're right. Yeah, we used to hide up there, right? As fans, Matthew, we used to hide up there. But now we can't because it's going to collapse. So I think they're waiting for all of us to kind of react to that. I'm just getting in. Welcome to all new viewers and subscribers. Hope you all are enjoying the time with Let's Talk Resident Evil and the community. Yes, thank you guys. We are at 19,000 subscribers. I hit a milestone today. So we're so close to 20K. I think we can get there, guys. Let's just keep it going. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to be obviously playing and covering as fans of Resident Evil. And I'm going to be reporting on and doing stuff. So, people are saying Shadows of Rose is much more horror. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see this week. But hell yeah, Dave. Always go hard on the arcade machines. I love that. This may be an unpopular opinion, says Overlord, but I think another Darkside Chronicles, or he would like another Darkside or Umbrella Chronicles. Always enjoyed playing them on co-op with family. Yeah, I mean, they are on rails. They are easier to play, Overlord, Lord. But I don't know. They could do something like that again, but it would just have to be kind of like a condensed version of the remakes or something like that, or however they wanted to do it. I didn't mind them, going back and playing them in the Legacy series. I didn't mind going back and playing them again. They weren't that bad. Some of it was tedious though, and having to unlock certain things was hard. But again, I'm not great at that. So let's see. Let's see. I can't speak for the hardcore. This is from Valix, the Durgan says, I can't speak for the hardcore horror-oriented RE fans, but adding Stalkers in RE4 would be a very bad idea. It would completely throw off the balance of the action and the horror ratio they're aiming at. Well, it would add more horror, right? But I guess it depends on what follows it and whether or not that makes, I guess, sense with the flow of things, like you mentioned. I know it's going to be a common thing that comes up, whether or not the Stalker stuff should be there or not. Does it make it more hard? Does it not? If they added, too much, I think it would be definitely a weird balance. Let's see. They took out the dog. Well, we do see a footage of someone, again, some of the other press people that played it, and they do see a dead dog next to the bear trap. Now, whether or not that is a red herring, that's what I'm thinking, and John's thinking that too, but I don't know. We'll see. Weepop says, well, you make a video analyzing the other editions of RE4, deluxe editions. I could. I mean, there's not much to analyze, of course, but besides like the items that we actually get. But I can talk about them maybe in a video together, like all the collector's editions. George Moore would like the Ramon Sadler transformation to look like the original. Okay. Yo-Yo Sub Studios, the hype is real. Damn right, man. What's up, Futura? Says that boy Ant missed these streams, man. Oh, yeah, man. It's all good. I'm happy to have you here. Good to have everyone here, really. We got 118 people in here. This is great. I'm trying to just catch up with these comments here. Do you guys think we'll get a teaser of RE9 at the end of Village? I don't know, Messiah. We'll see later this week. Primus says, all the environmental stuff makes me very excited for the castle. Yeah, me too, man. GG, what's up? SK says, hey there, what do you think of the biggest surprise of the story that we'll see? Story character-wise that we'll see. I think we'll see some surprises from Krauser. I think we'll see some surprises from Sadler, Salazar even. I think they'll even Ashley. I think all of them will have Ada, I think they'll all have it. But as far as like the biggest surprise, I think it might just be, whether or not we actually get to see Wesker or not in this game. I think that's one of the biggest things I'm like low key just hoping they show some kind of Wesker thing, even if it's not like, if he's not fully in the game. I know, because in the original he's in the background. He's not actually there, and I get it, but it would still be really cool. I'd mark out for that. Kyle still pre-ordered the collector's edition. Do you think something's off with the statue face, or it's a bad photo? I don't know. I think the statue looks fine. I mean, to be fair, I know people were talking about this before with like the other statues before. Every single one this has come up, but then when I actually get them, they always look fine. And I got 3 statues, you know what I mean? So if 3 of them are good, I'm sure this one will be good. Plot twist, it's Robot Salazar for the Stalker enemy. That's what Evan says. Shadow says, I think they should do a cliffhanger at the end where Leon's warning Chris about the potential virus getting into the hands of Wesker, leading into RE5. And yes, they will definitely do that if they have to use the assets. Yeah, I mean, look, if they make all the other remake stories flow, why can't they make it lead into A5 if they're going to do that again? You know what I mean? Because Chris knew about the Kennedy report and RE4, so they knew about exactly what went down. So to see that interaction happen sooner than them, meeting in RE5 and an RE6 rather. So Jack Baker or Mr. X was the best stalkers. That's what Matthew says. Yeah, I always like Nemesis in the original as the best stalker, but I know in the remakes a lot of people like Mr. X, and I don't blame them. This is from Quentin, what if they tweak the stalker and make them killable instead of just stunning them? They could die, then come back in a different area, act like an optional mini-boss. That could work. It would be putting a different spin on the stalker enemy. There'd be a way to fight back, and then you wouldn't have to hide, and it would just be, something like that. Or it's not, like you said, come back in a different section, and it spaces it out a little bit more so you don't get burnt out too much on it, That's a good point. Uriel says, I wouldn't mind Vertigo as a stalker since he already played a rudimentary form of the form of the role prior to his proper fight in the original. Yeah, and his fight, whether it's in the sewers or whether it's somewhere else in the castle, it could potentially lead from all of the stalker stuff kind of sequencing. You know what I mean? We know Leon falls down the spike pit and saves himself. So if that still happens, and maybe up until that point you were already being stalked by this enemy, and then it just leads up to that. Let's see. Weepop says, I hope they have the suppressor for the Silver Ghost that Wesker had in Mercenaries. It could add to the stealth in RE4. That's a good point. The silencer on Wesker's gun was only on Wesker in the Mercenaries mode and never in the actual game. And I love the way it sounded and how the impact sounded and everything. So, yeah, that's a good point. They could bring that into the game just sooner and not just in Mercs. Heard Krauser's going to have a second form? I don't know. Again, too soon to tell. We just know that the play testers that play, not play testers, but press people that played the first 20 minutes saw a little snippet of someone with blonde hair and in a beret, which is training Leon. So something that Krauser is there. They're teasing. I'm sure they'll keep it under wraps. Philly Cheese asks, what I think the redesign might look like. I don't know. Will he have the blade arm? Will his final form be different? Will his actual form be different? Just how he looks, his actual model. Again, I'm sure they'll try to keep it under wraps. I didn't mind the final form of Krauser, but it wasn't anything crazy or memorable, so maybe they can change it up, Any content cut out of Remake? Asked Bleeding Game. I would say maybe a lot of elements of overblown action and potentially the island being cut or changed to a different lab or something different entirely. And how everything kind of is mapped out or positioned around the game. So maybe something like that. I don't know. Big story surprise would be Krauser letting it slip about Umbrella, the knife fight. Yeah, I mean, it's really just his involvement can be a lot more richer and more explained to the audience and not just so much in the lore, because we know about the organization and we know about Krauser, Ada, and Wesker and their intentions just as fans. But to really see a lot of that stuff, put out there. And that also leads into the point of, Matthew Webster about how we'll be getting stabbed by Leon, with Salazar getting stabbed by Leon or Vertigo throwing it back at Leon. That's one of those things where, again, it could just be part of the cutscene. Will it be a button prompt? That's stuff up in the air. But also with the parrying and Krauser, it's one of those things that that the QuickTime event isn't going to be just a thing in the cutscene. It's going to be something where I think that you're going to verse Krauser with the knife fight in game, and it's going to be all just timing and dodging and pressing the button just at the right time, and that's a really good switch up from what it was. The island section, Sputnik, was not on the map that we looked at in the map breakdown video. So a lot of people are suspecting A, it's either cut, or B, it's obviously away and it's just not shown on the map. I think it could personally still be there and just not shown on the map, but they could also kind of switch up that finale entirely, you know what I mean, and really make it different. That whole last section, really. So X says, what's wrong with Umbrella? Yeah, what is wrong with Umbrella? And hopefully we'll see what the hell happened with Umbrella and what was wrong with them and why they fizzled out instead of just a little quick cutscene. I got the Collector's Edition, Abraham. What's up, man? Fellow YouTube member in the house. I got the Collector's Edition. Fingers crossed it all comes here in one piece. There's no real word, Matthew, with the Regenerators, but I think they would be fucking awesome almost, 20 years later, and it will look very, very cool in the RE engine, and I'm sure they'll be there even if the island is, switched up a little bit, Umbrella says he likes more of the eerie beginning in RE4 Remake and the fact that the cabin is going to have a basement, very dark setting. Yeah, just the lighting. The lighting alone and just the darkness of the woods and just everything like that is just like, oh my God, it's it's unbelievable seeing it in just real time and seeing that gameplay, because we're really seeing it in, again, a way that the engine, a way that 4K and HDR and all this stuff does, change and change the look of games and how sharp everything is. But just the little details too that go a long way. Quentin says, I was surprised to see that the collector's edition was available for over 24 hours. I was stressing while refreshing GameStop, and I didn't even need to be. Well, that's the thing. Like, once I got it that night, and that night that the showcase happened, and we just had an influx of info dumped on us. I didn't get any sleep that night, by the way. That was like one of my biggest fears. I was like, I just want to get this out of the way. Like, I just want to get the collector's edition and not worry about it, We'll see, Damon. Like I said, I don't like to give into a lot of the leaks and stuff, because again, it kind of just means nothing at the end of the day until we get some solid shit. Abraham got his too. That's awesome, man. But yeah, Quentin, I'm happy that it was easy for everyone, and I hope everyone got it. And if you didn't get it, hopefully they at least replenish it a little bit more or one more time. I wonder if the puzzles will look like, or what the puzzles will look like, King Shadow says. Yeah, I'm sure the puzzles will return. They'll probably be a little bit different, probably reimagined in some way. And, maybe we'll have the church puzzle still, the Stonewall puzzle. The puzzles were pretty light in RE4 to begin with, so who knows if they could add more puzzles. That's something they could do. Can't wait to get that beautiful Leon statue on top of the chainsaw controller. It would be a perfect exhibit. That's nice, man. That's really nice. That's dope. Cashbox says, I wonder if we'll get those iconic rooms and sections like the water room, the mines, the cart, the spiral stairs with the barrels, or double gigante lava pit. Well, that's the thing. So I wonder if we'll see more of that, of all of those areas as well, and just again kind of expand on them and what they'll add and what they'll take away. I'm sure we'll see a lot of the stuff I'm sure we'll see the water room, the mines, the cart. Some of that stuff might be either cut down a little bit or just expanded, or they add more stuff. Lauren says, having a stealth around the regenerators in a dark, rundown lab where you can mostly just hear them would be spine-chilling. Yeah, especially if they're harder to kill, or if you don't have that infrared scope. You don't have that scope. You can scope out all the parasites on your semi-auto or bolt action. So that'll be very, very interesting to see how they do that. What's going on? Anthony is from MW Lewis. Hope all is well. Been a while since I tuned in. Has been busy since I'm becoming an upcoming father and a married man. Well, congrats, man. Hope you're well, MW Lewis. Congrats on that. I'm super stoked for this remake and what we'll see. Yeah, man. There's a lot of great stuff to talk about. Hope you enjoyed all my coverage on it as well. And obviously, if you have any questions and stuff you want to ask, now's the time. Going to be on here for probably another half hour. It's 8:30, about 8:30 now. Quentin says, have you been playing the Reverse beta? No, I actually didn't. I didn't play it. I was kind of just waiting to actually play it when it came out on Friday after the fact. But we'll see, But I definitely want to check it out. I wanted to finish Madhouse and do all this stuff today. So this is all time I could have been playing it, but, I could just make content on it as well. So I guess there's that. Uriel's ready for the hand cannon again. He can't wait. It is a monster of a gun. I agree. George Moore says, do you think they might deal with enemies in armor in the castle? The armor guys, I think they might make a return. I think the armor guys might make a return. Yeah, and the parasites you got to kill as well. Weepop was saying some of the Regenerator or Iron Maiden variants that we saw hanging up in the lab. That would be interesting, right? If they did something like that, because there's ones we only saw hanging and never actually faced. Damon says Ashley was holding a gun in the trailer, so maybe she might use a weapon to defend herself. Maybe. Or maybe she ganks the weapon and tries to kill him. Nemesis Biohazard, what is going on, brother? Chris Kennedy just got home. Now I can get a little more active in the chat. That's cool, man. Thank you, Chris Kennedy.
Most of these medicines are from Umbrella.
And Thunder's Productions with the $5 Canadian says, I wonder if the Gyarados will return and have more of a different character model. The Gyarados are definitely intimidating with their claws. The fact that they usually you fight them in twos besides obviously the one little basement area. But yeah, having them come back, I think it's safe to say that with the castle, I'm sure we'll see a lot more layers of the castle just like before and a lot more enemies. They're always one of my favorites in the castle, even though they're kind of annoying. I always like the whole intensity of trying to stay quiet while kind of dancing around a stage to just shoot them. So thank you so much for the $5 Canadian, man, and really appreciate that. What do you think Raccoon City looks like in the daylight, as it's always night and depressing? It probably just looks, like a normal city, with just with a lot of dark history attached to it, but we'll never know if we'll see any kind of maps of Raccoon City in the daytime or even on reverse, Glad the insect enemies are not in the remake. They were a pain in the ass. Well, we don't know that. They could be. They could still be there. They were annoying as hell, and they would be invisible and stuff like that. Very, very interesting design on them. But yeah, I do agree they are a little annoying. But yeah, don't know if they're going to be cut. Do you think Dr. Salvador would be one guy this time throughout, or do you think there'll be multiple? There might be multiple, Matthew. I don't think it'd be the same. Or maybe if it is the same, they'll switch it up. Like they'll do him, then they'll do the Bella sisters. Then, so I agree, Sputnik. Hope they keep the Chainsaw Sisters. Ashley is the final boss, says Alex vs. Evil. When are you streaming RE Gold? Friday, Pacific time. I'll probably be streaming probably Thursday night into Friday. You know what I mean? It depends. We'll see how things go. But Friday, when it comes out Thursday night, I might do that. Start it at midnight. Or I might start at. Stay tuned. I'll probably update that. You'll see the event posted this week. If not, I'll try to start, in the morning Friday, like 10 a.m. Eastern or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to stream first because I know there's some people that don't want to see the Shadows of Rose until they beat it. So I don't know, but I do want to cover it for sure. So I'll figure it out. Yeah, I did hear about that, Zulu. I'm actually doing a video on that whole interview that they would consider doing Code Veronica remake. They've talked about it, so it is being talked about. As far as enemies, do you think the developers will use any cut ideas from 3.5 at MW Lewis? That's a good question. A lot of people are saying the Hookman. There could be a Hookman. Maybe he's not as supernatural, but I'm thinking maybe a Hookman of some sort, or I don't know. That could be a nice little surprise. But I doubt we would get the little dolls and stuff like that were all haunted and shit. Or fight off this, smoke of possession, Shadow says, do you think in the castle there's going to be the same generally be the same or be turned into an exploration type area like RE1 and 0 with the mansion, loads of locked doors, minimum info, with a lot more rooms. It could be definitely turned into more like, because one thing we didn't see was like the wall, like the puzzle wall with all the different stuff, and that made you kind of go around the castle to kind of get piece 1, piece 2, piece 3. So I think it could be kind of set up like that before, but obviously just be a lot more rich with detail and a lot more to see. So we'll see what's going on with that. Yeah, like just from the inside of the castle, just seeing those screenshots just looked awesome. I cannot wait. Chris got the Martian Gothic physical for PS1, complete with jewel case, manual, and clean copy. Nice, man. That's a good find. That's a really good find. Invisible bugs be gone, says King Shadow. Lauren says, let's see. The novice stutters in the light cave on professional difficulty is having a war flashback. Yeah, I mean the cave, that cave section and like right before you get to the or you get out of the mines rather, that is like a pain in the ass. That on professional, and you got to kick the bugs, and that was just, oh my god, that was so annoying. When I played the randomizer and they actually weren't there, I was like, thank God they're not there. Chris Kennedy said it's a rare survival horror game. I've only heard of it by name before, but ACR says RE4 looks very RE2-ish. Anyhow, I think it would be a serious contender for Game of the Year. I think so. Why not, And will heads be rolling with the chainsaw? I really hope they bring back the decapitation. They should bring back the violent deaths. That's one thing that will actually be a concern of mine if they dumb down the deaths a little bit. And I know people kind of talked about that in RE3 Remake, but I think for this RE4, they got to keep the brutal deaths. Zulu says, I hope they add a line in Krauser's fight where he says, "What's wrong, Leon? You broke your knife? You broke your little knife." That would be great. Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting if they add little conversation things back and forth to also kind of play off of their character. MW says, supposedly the maiden type figure that is holding Saddler's staff in the story trailer. Some people think it's a new enemy from the concept art of the OG RE4. Well, they could. I mean, that's all stuff that people were talking about, implementing 3.5, implementing stuff that is cut. It's all possible now, you know? Yeah, I'm really curious to see what enemy character that is that's holding his staff. Chris Kennedy says the invisible bugs were a pain unprofessional. Yes, they were. Abraham says, off topic, but I hope Silent Hill 2 released in 2023, so RE4 has another survival horror competitor. Dead Space is another. Oh, man. Yeah, no, there's a lot next year. So I think there definitely would be some contenders for sure, and a lot of people will have their favorites. That's definitely not a no question about that. Yeah, Krauser did have a huge-ass knife, but I think Leon can upgrade his knife in this one. He can. So he'll have the Knife of Doom. Maybe Krauser will have an upgraded knife that we'll have to fight against, you know. Obviously, we got to be ready for the parry. We got to get all ready for timing all that stuff and get used to the mechanics. So hopefully by the time he shows up, we'll do that. And what's your favorite RE4 cover art preference, for the GameCube cover art or the PS2? That's a good question. I would say the GameCube. I love the color aesthetic of the GameCube. I just love that image. It's so iconic. It's burned into my brain from seeing it for the first time. So we'll see. Cashbox says, I'm waiting to hear "Not enough cash, stranger." Apparently the same voice actor who did the Duke is playing the merchant. Okay, so I think that's confirmed now, I think. We'll see, though. A lot of people have been saying that, though. But yeah, Umbrella, I would say the GameCube artwork's my favorite. I do like all the different artwork we've gotten. I love the UK artwork too. I think that's really creepy with the woods and the chainsaw. But yeah. Chris Kennedy says, Krauser to Leon. Ha, remember my knife 5 years ago? Yes, Leon. Mine is bigger than yours. Lauren says, they were really teasing the chainsaw death in the chain. They really were. The showcase gameplay really teased that, but of course they have the parry right when you expected the death scene to come. So that was a nice little surprise there. But yeah, I'm sure we'll see some blood and guts soon enough, hopefully. Hope Sadler has a better reason to keep Ashley around after infecting her and Leon. Yeah, we'll see. You know, we'll see how that changes and how Sadler is as a character, how they write him. You know, Evan says, loving this new era of survival horror and making the well-developed characters make it more complex, human emotions, and meaningful dialogue. The game looks to be no exception. Yeah, exactly. I think they know what they got to do this time, and they're going to execute it, you know, to the best of their abilities here. And I have hope. Fingers are crossed. Callisto Protocol says the best survival horror game this year. I think so, man. I think the Callisto really has no other survival horror competitors this year as a full game, as a new IP. So I think I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to cover it. Can't wait to stream it. It is a really good time to be not only a Resident Evil fan, but a survival horror fan as well. So there we go. Thunder says, man, an RE5 remake with a solo player campaign with a dark horror vibe would actually be cool if done right. I agree, Thunders. That's why I would never put the idea, or have never put the idea of the RE5 remake down. It's always possible. Do I remember the scene in RE3 Remake where someone has the capsule? Do you think that's something to do with RE4? Yeah, I think that might bridge between, you know, that seemed to be Jill, possibly in a new apartment with that information. So I wonder what happens after RE3 into RE4. I hope they do kind of bridge that a little bit better, Zulu. That's what I hope. Nemesis, what's up? He says, I hope the Sadler boss fight is better than Sadler's original form. It was pretty disappointing. Yeah, I didn't mind Sadler's boss fight. I actually like it in the original, but I would like them to switch it up a little bit with the whole platform thing and falling and him throwing shit. Like, they could definitely fix that, you know? do you think that they will still keep the hidden deaths, like shooting the lake with the Del Lago and getting shot by Luis? That'd be a cool little throwback. I think they'll keep some stuff like that for sure. The little things just for fans, you know? That'd be really cool. I prefer the PS2 cover since Leon's face looks more confident, says Abraham. Well, there you go. We all have our preferences. Let's hope they don't butcher Silent Hill 3 remake. Hopefully not, Revenant. I still got to complete Silent Hill 3 on stream, so that will be happening one of these days when it gets voted on, which will probably be soon. Any theories about the girl in the beginning? It's not Ashley because that girl appears to be wearing a dark hoodie sweater. Really? I know that we were talking about that, and I know Beggy had a theory on that too, that it was someone different. It looked like Ashley to me, but why else would they be doing a ritual on someone else? I guess if they just wandered into the village that wasn't them. I don't know. It could be someone else. It could be when Ashley gets infected. You know, if she was blatantly getting killed, then I could be like, okay, that's not her. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're wrong for thinking it's someone different. It could be. When I did my trailer breakdown, you know, maybe now I seem like an idiot because I was like, oh, it doesn't look like her. But I mean, who knows? Shadow says, dang, am I the only one who played RE4 on the Wii for the first run? Not gonna lie, the controls feel so good on the Wii. Surprised they never tried doing more with the control scheme past RE5. Yeah, they really stopped. I think once the motion gimmick kind of died out, they were like, yeah, we're done. But to be fair, the RE4 on the Wii is one of the best versions to play because it does control well. The aiming, you can get headshots every time. The target practice is the easier. Let's see here. Yeah, the Wii version's awesome though. I didn't play for my first playthrough, but shout out to my buddy Brandon. He had it back in the day on his Wii because I think he had a Wii console before. I mean, I didn't get one until years later. I only played it at friends' houses, but he did have the RE4 Wii edition. And I had to help him at a couple parts, and that's when I realized like how smooth it was to aim with it and everything like that. So, Matthew Webster says, think Leon will actually lose his weapons this time after getting knocked out. They would really have a stealth mechanic to good use. Yeah, it's like you have to get to, you have to get to an item box, because now the item box probably won't be an actual thing, because you got the merchant, you got all that stuff there. Delago looks scarier than the original. Yeah, he looks crazy. That already looks crazy. Zulu wants a flashback to Operation Javier. Asking for DLC is asking way too much, knowing. Well, to be fair, they usually like to do DLC somewhat, but with the story, they didn't really do that with 2 and 3 remakes. So I think, if anything, if it's not in the game, we probably just won't get it. And hopefully we get, some kind of separate ways or something if they're going to do a DLC, or it might just be included in the game, but we'll see. It is 2022. Chris Kennedy says, I know it takes place in Europe for RE4 or somewhere in Spain, but it'd be nice if Capcom actually had a real town where it took place. Yeah, well, they would have it, made up or make up a town, kind of like Kajuju and RE5. Oh, yeah, the target practice says Cashbox. Yeah, will that target practice come back? Will we get rewards? Will the merchant have a list of things we can find and do? We'll see. Revenant says, Krauser, my knife is much bigger than yours. My knife can walk right through the door with a feeling so pure. It's got you coming back for more. Oh, yeah, I know the System reference. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that someone actually knows System of a Down in the chat. That's actually really cool. My knife is much bigger than yours. My wife can walk right through the door with the feeling so pure. All right, so we got 15 more minutes. Super chats, questions, I will take. We're caught up in the chat now. Can't you see that we love my cock? Yes, that's what I was saying earlier in this video, Shadow, that people who did play RE4 did see him in the beginning training Leon. They saw a flash of someone with blonde hair in the beret. So, yes, that is going to be really cool to see, and I'm happy he's not. Again, That's why I didn't make all these like leak videos on yes he's in it, no he's not, yes he's in it, no he's not, blah 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 blah. Been doing it since June. Da 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 da. It's like that's why it's nice to see that, because when you hear stuff like this, it makes all the other stuff irrelevant. So, System of a Down is a great band. Love that band, says Chris Kennedy. Favorite Sode song is Sad Statue is a great song. Well, the generation that didn't agree. Roy DJ says, I do hope that Krauser knife fight is not a cutscene and it'll be a proper fight. Oh, hell yeah. It'll definitely be a knife only parry fight. You know, Roy, they're gonna do that like up like crazy. And I'm sure, and honestly, having that knife upgraded and the durability ready is gonna be like essential, because that like I feel like through the whole game, I'm going to be like, I better make sure this thing is like fine-tuned and ready and repaired. Because like I said in the videos that I covered RE4, it's going to be your best friend, that knife. So Assignment Ada could make a return, or they could just do separate ways, Matthew Webster. I think they can do either one, but I would like it to actually be canon and, like Separate Ways was. I hope so. Also just because I love Ada and I love playing as Ada, and I think not being able to play as her, if it's not in the actual game, having a separate mode would be cool. Looks like the intro scene, Leon, looks like Infinite Darkness. Oh, in the intro scene? Yeah. I think Aerials is my favorite System song, says Mandy. Yeah, Aerials is great. You can't go wrong with, any System song. Off of the first album, Toxicity, Steal This Album, Hypnotize, Mesmerize. It's all just solid bodies of work, for sure. And still holds up to this day. Yeah, I think Leon in this game, I definitely also like his look, Zulu. I think that's something that from the beginning, I thought that it was just a great, like, progression from the 6 years passing and obviously the more experience, and, he's definitely been hitting the gym and all that stuff. So I think it definitely is a natural progression for his character, and I love the way Nick is portraying his voice this time around, too. At least I still think it's Nick. I'm pretty sure it's Nick. Let's see. Them and Korn got me through high school. Yeah, Korn's another great band. So good, and they're so good live. Unfortunately, the last time System toured around here was in 2012, and it was Deftones opening for them and System of a Down, and it was in 2012, August 2012. They played in Camden, New Jersey, and that was the last time they actually played live close to here. Everything else has been in Europe or somewhere else. But Korn always brings it live. Korn is great and consistent. Like, they're just a great band. Winter Saga, what's up? I'm sure the game is going to look great on OLED. Oh, yeah, on an OLED, it's going to be amazing. Amazing. ACR says new metal hints. Yeah, great for black levels, those OLEDs, and those games look great. I even saw RE2 Remake on Nuji's OLED in his house, and I was like, damn, this thing looks fucking great. That was like right at the end, right before I left that trip. And then I came home and I immediately wanted to play the PS5 edition of that. Ever heard of Nexatra? The lead singer is Victor Borba, the guy who sang Bury the Light, Virgil's theme in DMC5's edition. Oh, no, I actually haven't heard of it. I mean, I've heard of those songs, but I haven't actually heard of the band. That's really cool. There is a Japanese band that made a song just for RE Dead Aim, and it's so 2000s. I love it. It's called Rise Gunshot. Oh, we know about that, Zulu. In fact, when we beat Dead Aim for the first time, we found that song, me and John, and we were just like playing it, and we were just like, damn, this song goes in for it's that gunshot, shot. It's like, it's very I literally was like, this is like Japanese nu metal. I think that was the first thing I said when I heard it for the first time. I was like, this is like the epitome of Japanese nu metal. It's like rapping, and it's it's so good. That's probably the best part about that game, about Dead Aim, is the gunshot. Um, I also think it's copyrighted, so I remember but anyway, yeah, that's there's some good bands out there. There's a lot of great bands that are still relevant nowadays. And I love music so much. Something I'm also very passionate about. Just as passionate as Resident Evil, I'm just as passionate about music and vinyl and CD and bands and seeing live music and stuff like that. Always been a part of my DNA, so to speak. Do I think Ashley will get rejected? Yes. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if she tickles Leon in the right way, he'll say yes. I don't know. Someone's got to do it. If it's not Leon, no, I don't know. That's terrible. Let's see. Anna is awesome. I'm gonna butcher the name, so I don't want to say it. She made the 2 ending theme songs for the RE CGI, the first 2 RE CG movies. Yeah, that had some good music too. Did I play Death by Daylight yet? I played a little bit of it. I do have it on Game Pass, so I did play a little bit of the game, and it is fun. I mean, it's definitely something I'm late on. I'm late as fuck on, Like, I played the Friday the 13th game more than I played, Death by Daylight, which obviously Friday the 13th emulated that, so I get that. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I would like to play with friends in a community. That's something I haven't really done, So, imagine an Ashley fight like how they did Jill in RE5. Yeah, I know, right? That would just be annoying, because that Jill fight is definitely a Sushiya is how you say her last name. Oh, okay, Sushiya. So Anna Sushiya. Yes. So she did the music for. Yeah, I mean, there was some good music in those CGI movies. For sure. I forget those 2 songs specifically, or if she did multiple songs. If you have the first Paul Anderson OST, has 6 songs, My Play from Slipknot, a couple more, so nostalgic. Yeah, that and the Apocalypse soundtrack is amazing. The Marilyn Manson theme song for Resident Evil is a great theme. All the metal tracks, they got Typo Negative on there. They got Slipknot. They got Killswitch Engage is on Apocalypse. That's how I found out about Killswitch Engage, is through Resident Evil. End of Heartache. It was just such a great era of music, man. And you're right. Like, I listened to those albums and the songs, and it's just all nostalgia, and it takes me right back to where I was back when that stuff came out, and brings me right back to that time. And that's what's great about the music and the movies and the games. It's just like the nostalgia factor is really strong with a lot of that stuff, and is very effective. And they don't do soundtracks like that anymore. You know what I mean? They really don't. The Freddy vs. Jason soundtrack, the Punisher soundtrack. I mean, those soundtracks had great fucking albums. I mean, I could probably put in those soundtracks and just listen to it all the way through, even if I don't know every song 100%. The 2002 movie theme is the main theme for Resident Evil. Yeah, that was the Manson theme that I was talking about. That's for the 2002 film. Again, very memorable. They became less memorable, and they stopped doing those kind of soundtracks after Extinction, like where the bands, it was like music inspired by, those kind of soundtracks. Suicide Silence, I do enjoy. I don't know all of their discography, but that style of music, yeah, I definitely am a fan of. I hope Konami pushes Capcom to go all out with the new games. Well, I really think it's really Capcom pushing Konami to go all out, to be honest, because if we're being honest here, the remake craze and train and hype and sales and everything, Capcom has a big part in that. And there's no doubt that Konami saw that and was like, we got to do this for Silent Hill 2. So I honestly think competition's great, and one feeds the other in terms of like, okay, you're doing this, okay, I'm doing this. But Resident Evil and Capcom definitely in recent years showed how remakes can be done and be successful for a profit. And now Silent Hill is definitely trying to take in on that. Not that that's a bad thing. That's how it should be. I mean, it's been dormant for so long. So I think they'll do a good job because that pressure is there, and there's that pressure to make this successful and do a really good job, especially with Silent Hill 2. They didn't start with 1. I wish they started with 1, to be honest with you, but they started with 2. At least with RE2, we knew that we did get RE1 remake, and for them to do that would have just pissed people off. Everyone wanted RE2 next because RE1 was already remade. But for Silent Hill, none of them have ever been remade, and for them to just go for 2, I know some people want one over the other, but I think it kind of works that way, where Capcom is kind of influencing them again in terms of like how to really make a good remake. Didn't realize this until now. Roger Craig Smith, RE5 Chris Redfield voice actor, did Curtis Miller in the Degeneration film. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. I remember we looked that up too when we were doing the review for that, and that blew my mind. My favorite animated film is probably Degeneration. I've gone back and forth on this, Chris Kennedy, but I would say I love just like the simplistic asset of it, of where like, you know, you have Leon and Claire, you know, you got their chemistry back, and then you also have this airport being infected and like this isolated kind of incident. So there's something about that I always liked. It's very nostalgic. So I do like all the CG films, though. A ranking would be interesting to do on that. Abraham hopes they do Outbreak Justice in any way, remaster before they do anything else after 4 Remake. I mean, Abraham, I agree. I think that's something that we always want, even if it's not Outbreak specifically. They have all the assets. They have Raccoon City. Why not just make something like that where you have these survivors and make it like very Outbreak-esque? Capcom, Umbrella, Konami, Tricell. That's funny, Matthew. Can't wait for Pyramid Head and Silent Hill 2, says King Shadow. Yeah, definitely. I think it only really makes sense for them to use Pyramid Head in 2 because it's related to James and the character, and not getting too into spoiler territory here. But yeah, I think they know that they got to show that in the trailer because that is like a more iconic image of Silent Hill. You know, Konami just FOMO, let's be real. They just try to steal a little thunder with their showcase. I'm excited for a 2 remake though. Oh, yeah, how they had it the day before. Yeah, that definitely was kind of on purpose. You can tell whether they admit it or not. But joke's on them because the whole thing was leaked by the time the fucking thing came out. It literally, like, the premiere dropped and they unlisted and showed or made all their trailers on their channel public. So before the showcase, you could just fast forward through it. It wasn't even like a live stream event. So it was very fucking weird how they did it. Very odd. Leave it to Konami to do something like that. But again, I'm excited for Silent Hill fans. I don't want people to get it twisted. I'm excited for Silent Hill 2 Remake. I can't wait to see how it is. I can't wait to play it and enjoy it, and just have a good time with it. I plan on rewatching Vendetta on Halloween, says Umbrella Corporation. I love the RECG films. Yeah, they're always great, especially Halloween movies, and very fun, brief hour 30, hour 40 minutes. You know, they don't overstay their welcome. That's one thing I do like about the CG films, and they take place in the canon. Chris Kennedy says, I think the city environment would make RE interesting. Why doesn't Capcom make RE9 take place in this city with another outbreak? But this time, there's a grand conspiracy involving a new villain. They could, but I feel like some people may think that's too samey, Chris Kennedy. But I don't know. I mean, I think if they're going to bring back the characters, they should bring them back, and they should bring back zombies, and they should, you know, they really should pay attention that, like, we really do want the older characters, not just in remakes, you know? Another Revelations 3 with Rebecca Zulu. I would like another Rev 3. Rebecca would be cool. I mean, Rebecca in Vendetta was kind of shown as being more of a scientist now, more like very behind the scenes, not on the front lines anymore. So they might stick with that if that's where she is in the canon. You know what I mean? She seemed to be a lot more happier doing that instead of just being all out, you know, in the front lines. So we'll see. Chris Kennedy says, I'm very excited for Silent Hill 2, RE4 Remake, as well as the Callisto. Yeah, dude, like, our plates are filled as survival horror fans. And thank you guys so much for this live stream tonight. This has been wonderful. We got every chat in the comments read. And thank you guys so much for the love and support. I'll do another one of these probably later this week or next week, probably after the the RE Gold Edition stuff comes out. But yes, bunch of stuff coming out this week. Got some more RE4 Remake videos and some content on the video side of things coming. And we got the Resident Evil Gold Edition. The RE Gold Edition coming out Friday. So I will be live Friday, probably around noon, to cover the Resident Evil Gold stuff. And I'm very excited to, you know, share the next wave of survival horror and Resident Evil with you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, follow me on all the socials. Discord, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LTRE.store for the merch. Merch is down below on the Spring Store. You can check out the LTRE merch. Patreon and YouTube memberships are a way you can support the channel as well. And that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I will catch you guys probably not going to be live tomorrow, but just stay tuned for some content tomorrow, video content, all right? And I will catch you guys soon with some more live stream stuff, all right? Take care, guys. Appreciate all the love and support. Thank you for all the super chats, all the donations. Really appreciate that. I love you guys. Take care.